Hi guys, hope you had an awesome weekend. Today is Monday, and closing remarks from last week Friday's YouTube, when we looked at Bitcoin and we look at the alts popping, as we're saying, keep the FOMO intact. Try not to fall victim to the FOMO and expect that the weekend's going to give us a little bit more upside, which it did. And in addition to this, we've got Bitcoin. We've got Bitcoin on a daily time frame. So what the hell is happening there? Is this bearish divergence something to really take note of? And should we prepare our buys? Because I've got itchy fingers. I've got Bitcoin FOMO. This and a lot more just after this, guys. So if you're watching from my Twitter feed, however, please head over to YouTube. For everybody else, stay tuned. Let's get into this. Do your hodl bags a favor and subscribe today. Double down, hit that like and notification icon, and let's get charting. Okay, so let's get serious real quick. Well, there's Bitcoin, there's the dominance, and we know that when Bitcoin goes sideways and the dominance starts selling off, we call it alt season. Alt starts popping. Okay, so what happened during the week now? Where Bitcoin's at now is, well, it's lower, it's not that high. Bitcoin is grinding sideways. Dominance is selling off. And yes, micro alt season, check, it's there. What I would love to see personally between me and you is if this dominance can fall below 51%. So I want Bitcoin to be sideways or up. That's my two options. I don't want to see a downwards Bitcoin. And then I would want to see a trend establishing itself, breaking key critical support levels. Remember now, dominance in Bitcoin's favor, that's the support for that to come back. And this thing puts it into context. Now you're saying, how the hell is a line going to bring in context? Support is merely a record holder of where a previous emotion might take effect into traders again. Whether it's going to hold or not is irrelevant. So we're going to have to wait and see for that. Okay, so that being said, so let's quickly have a look at Solana, because I know everybody now is alt crazy. Alts is the thing, and it's true. I mean, that's where the easy money is being made. I think the easiest way to do that is when we look at the heat map. Just the other day, I was saying Bitcoin's up 100x, and when you look at from a year on year, the last 365 days, and now look at your Chainlink, look at your Solana. All these coins are catching up. OKX coin and so forth, 218%. And this brings me to an interesting thing, something that we're going to be exploring the entire week. It's not a one-day job. At the moment, the trend where the most moving coins are happening, and this is thanks to token metrics, is at exchange-based tokens, layer-based tokens, and entertainment, which means that if we really want to go and hunt for something that's going to pop into the future, exchange-based tokens, layer ones, and entertainment is the leading ones. Now, entertainment, I won't call it a big cap because it's still something relatively new. But just as a reminder that, and let me bring up the right image. I've now hit it from myself. This is a reminder. The path to alt season works as follows. You've got Bitcoin flowing, going up, bringing the marketing, doing the heavy hitting, heavy lifting for us. And then once it goes sideways, money starts going into the other coins, and then ultimately into the alt season when the small gems pops and you get that 100x gems and 1000x gem styles on YouTube and Twitter, and everybody is just loving it, and everybody loves each other, and. So we're not quite there yet, guys. So you're not late. So if you want to talk to your FOMO monkey on your shoulder, you can tell it to just chill out. It's not over. It's actually not even really begun. We're in the beginnings of a potential. Okay. 31,500, 700, that's going to be a critical area where that could happen. That would be the best guess. And it's at that stage where we can dream bigger again. Ultimately, Bitcoin has got a tough job to do to break the hidden bearish divergence that it has. And these are targets where it's going to want to try and do that for us. So if it starts chopping sideways all the way to about 42, 44, that's expected. So from a price action point of view, high probability is this. High probability is that we're going to be there somewhere around the next week or so. And then from that point onwards, we can dream even bigger to that. This is a really good example that a lot of these coins, they're so early, they have not yet moved. This is an exchange-based token. Remember, it's still got hidden bearish divergence. It's still trying to break out, and it's only broken out of its momentum. So Bitcoin goes back down. That exchange-based tokens that's flowing, popping, that trend might just take up. And I won't discount BNB, guys. This is something that's going to definitely fly at some stage. Before I look at some more alts, just want to quickly remind you that remember that CMEs is a nice, easy tool, especially for you if you're a beginner to trading, just to kind of figure out where the risk is and what will price to, or where will price go to next. So if you look at the CME chart, simply what it's saying to us that there's a gap, expect liquidity to just go back there. And mind you, what's the price? $35,000 for the initial CME. So it might be that my 31K doesn't even happen, which means that we're going to have our wits about us. Okay. Now, let's quickly take a little step back. I know you guys want to get to alts. Please do me a big solid and just hit likes and subscribes and all those things. That helps getting the content out. When you guys send me comments, I respond to them. I actually take great pleasure in reading what you guys are saying. If there's some advice that I can give, I give it. Not that I can give advice, but thoughts and ideas and so forth. So take the time, write me a message, know that I read them, know that I appreciate them. Okay, so let's get back. Where was I? Legacy markets. So now we need to take a quick step and just see what's happening externally, because remember, that does impact our way. Now, we had Jerome Powell a while ago when he spoke to everybody. It was basically the powers that be looked at it and looked at the way that he was talking and took it for being hawkish. Now, hawkish means, and it basically boils down to Powell saying, listen, if inflation, which is coming this week, data, is going to stay high, we are not going to leave the rates where it is, and we're going to keep pushing it higher. Inflation, in fact, has come down slightly. The prices itself for the consumer to buy, none of those prices have been reduced. It's merely the rate by which they keep on getting increased was reduced. So the problem has not been solved, which brings us to the end of what I'm trying to say when we look at the legacy market side of things, is that if they're going to start raising the interest rates again, that's just going to add more pressure on this Dixie, and that's going to keep this thing, or potentially catapult this thing, going down. Now, a Dixie going down, really good for Bitcoin and an altcoin to go up. Okay. When we look at the Dow Jones, the US 30, top 30 companies, I was hoping that they're going to come back and fill this gap. Small little retrace, potentially still will come and fill this gap. But this is bullish, guys. It tells you that that's where smart money is trying, or big money is trying to get in. They're trying to get in on stocks. They don't want to be in dollar anymore. Okay. Same for the S&P 500. Same for the NASDAQ. Advantages. Lastly, I mean, Louis, to be honest with you, the content that we provide here doesn't click or tick the boxes for trending. For trending, it needs to be easy. It needs to give easy gains. It's easy, consistent gains without any risk to me. Meaning, let's all be degens. Let's just buy shit. Let's just do stuff. When people get reinforced and it gets made okay that you can be reckless, that's where people flourish. They love it. They love it when you're getting when you allow them to be reckless. We don't do this here. I give risk management. I lay out the risks. I lay out the invalidations. So potentially this will never happen due to the format of the trade. But I love the comment nevertheless. Thanks, buddy. Now that the trend is definitely to the upside. We should stop dreaming of 21K Bitcoin, and we should stop dreaming of it's going to go lower, because it's showing us that it's breaking that momentum. Now, guys, this words, take it with a pinch of salt, because there can be war, famines, and that just changes the way people look at the stuff as well. We don't know the future, but as for now, as for today, that's the most probable direction that we can expect. Okay, Link as well. Once Link hit the TP zone, as marked out to you guys, this is from the buy. Okay, once it's there, it's now finding some resistance, it's getting trapped. Now, I like this because ultimately what Link would still do is go to the next TP zone. But it's at that stage where I'll predict for now to say that that's where the top will potentially be for Link. For a retrace, where should the retrace be? Well, into this gap. Cardano finally woke up some, and this is good. Deleted its divergence as well. When did we buy Cardano? We bought it there, guys. And so now what's in the market for us? Look at that gap there. This is where Link is at. So if you and Solana is basically clawing in that area. If you're patient, take some of your Solana profit. This is a really top tip. Take 10% off your Solana and throw it into this loser. Because when it wakes up, that 10% could do just this again, another 126% on that. Okay. And that's a nice trade-off. Whereas the ceiling for Solana, we're close to it. Cardano can still do big things. Okay, so just remember that. Digibyte itself now has woken up. Look, I know very little about the coin from a project point of view, but from a technicals point of view, we are about to hopefully do this, break the hidden bearish divergence. When that happens, the last engulfing area where price was, I would expect it to come and find some support there. That is when the risk is at its least, to grab some and ride it. Now, yet again, it's a coin that's been around for forever, guys. So it has that same notoriety. I wouldn't say if that's the right word. That my English is letting me down again. To go back to these ranges here, same as where Solana is off to. Go back to those ranges. So keep an eye out for that, guys. Just be patient for the buy. Let's look at Doge real quick. So Doge is out, and this is Doge now giving us its first signal, or the second signal. See the first one? I'm going to quickly show you guys how divergences work. Okay. There's divergence. Okay, now did we sell? No, because we didn't close or trade below this level. And that's when it just tells you there's more. Now, what are we doing? Divergence. Are we closing? No. Look at all these wicks and demand there. So potentially see more upside for Doge before we go down. But eventually, one of these levels will get broken. We just need to be around enough and vigilant enough so that when it does, then we know we're due for our next buy zone. Okay, BNB, same thing for BNB. BNB has now broken its hidden, no, it's not broken its hidden bearish divergence as of yet. Okay, and the idea was that if exchange-based token starts rallying, what could potentially be next is our BNB. So major support area is around this area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a risk with you guys. I'm just going to say I'm just going to raise my entry price a little bit higher. And the reasoning is that if the market keeps on being so bullish and the momentum is so hot, I don't want to just sit on my hands all the time. I want to have some skin in the game as of such. So I will use this. I would say to myself from 240 to where we are, grab a little bit to see if I can maybe get that run. Because it can be that the market's going to spike much higher before we come back to these areas. Okay. And when we spike much higher, it might mean that we change the view on how we look at these things, meaning you'll find these lines popping up now. Okay. And then when those lines pop up, it means now we're going to trend like this. And only then comes bull market. And look at that, May 2024, Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin explodes, then this one might only shine. Okay, that's the risk you have when you have thousands of alts that you want to pick. Okay, XRP I'm going to skip for today. DOT I'm going to quickly have a look at. One of those shared in the exchange. I explained to you guys that DOT is one of my big ones. I see it going up to this trend line, and I want to see it break that trend line. Okay, so maybe I must just make it a little bit bigger. So let's quickly have a look at DOT. It's now broken it. Great. Hidden bearish divergence broken. And so DOT's the same as Cardano in a sense. It's a layer one. So it's in the trending sector of things. Let's move it on. It's a layer one. And I feel like the time for this one is coming. Okay, so Give it a little bit of patience. This is a big pump, big momentum. It can take time and chop and chop and chop. But ultimately, the trend long term is now setting up. And that's what I like about DOT. Real quick, let's say thanks to Bybit for today's video. Listen, guys, if you want to have some free cash and you haven't opened your own Bybit account just yet, please do so. Because you use our links in the video description, Bybit will actually add money into your account. Meaning so you can move your spot dollars here and they will actually give you some trading capital. Come on. And then you can use that trading capital to come leverage trade with me. Okay. Let's continue on to the coins and let's quickly see. There's a lot of Bitcoin caches. Now, I'm going to say, Stefan, thanks for spamming the chat. But, buddy, yes, I see big things for Bitcoin Cash. Really big things for Bitcoin Cash. And I actually shared it this morning in the market tactics with everybody. So I'm not going to share the chart today. So I'm sorry, but there's big things coming, and it's not coming today. That's basically what I'm looking for. So that's why I feel like I don't need to do that just yet. Dana, and sit on your hands. And maybe that's the max potential of where your trading capabilities is at this moment. Remember, I was there as well. Then I would look at something, and the momentum is strong. So definitely trade with momentum. And all I'm saying is, for the last 2 years, trading with the momentum meant staying away from alts. Hence the fact that the stream was always so heavily weighted to Bitcoin. But now we're changing that. Now the hope is that this gets above this, because if it does, the momentum is to the upside. And then you can literally just buy something, sit on it, and the trend will bail you out until the trend stops, whether it's going to be at $1 or whether it's going to be at $2.50. Okay. Guys, let's leave it there. Tomorrow after the stream, we will continue this in the Discord. And you can come in with more questions and more things, and we can spend some more alone time in Discord looking at more alts and everything else. As for you guys, Damon, Turtles, Crypto Man, Ra, and everybody else that joined in live, took the time, and actually wrote me a comment as well. And for those that's still going to comment, I'm looking forward to it. And thank you very much. And guys, remember, as always, keep hustling.